resume, which, it's necessary.
That's necessary. It's senior year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, great. I had a little crying
Oh, you
session.
just need that. All right. So are you ready?
Yes, I
Cool.
am.
Okay. Can you say and spell your name for me?
My name is, my full name?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. My name is Samantha Torres. It's spelled SAMANTHATORRES.
All right. And you're okay with us using this footage to put it on the website and everything like that? Okay. Cool. All right. So first question I would ask you, like, how would you define mental health? What definition would you give to define mental health?
When I think of mental health, I would say that it's your thought process. It's how your outlook on life, yourself, on people, decisions. It's just everything that's just going on in your brain that it's not very visible, but can affect you physically and in every way possible.
What are some things people can do to like maintain a good mental health? Like, what are some things?
I know a lot of people journal. I'm not a big person who journals, but like people writing down how they feel, the rational thoughts. There's stress balls. There's going to therapy, which I recommend. It's really good because it's like having someone like that's on the outside looking in onto your life, and when you're in that mess, you can't really see what's going on. So there's therapy. There's just talking to someone you trust, a friend, having a strong support group. Talking to your supervisor, a professor at school, someone that you can relate to and you're open with, because keeping it all in your mind, it's overwhelming and can be very heavy to deal with every day. So having someone to talk to and open your feelings up to is necessary, I think.
How long have you been going to therapy?
I've been going to therapy since my fall semester sophomore year, so I guess 3 years around there. Yeah.
And would you say it's been working for you?
I would say yes, it has a lot, because my therapist, she really just knows me, and like here at Cabrini, I feel like it's very underrated, the psychology, the counseling services here. Like it's a great service and people should use them. It's not even if you have something very severe, even if it's just stress, it's great to talk to someone, and they just help me. They provided methods for me to, like, there's food insecurity, like they've provided methods for me to get food, to buy things that I need, to help me make calls because I have social anxiety, to like doctors or psychiatrists. They've helped me through that. They've helped me with contacting professors when I feel like I can't make it to class. And it's just, they've been so great and like helped me relax and have someone to speak to at least one day out of the week.
Do you think people with mental health issues are treated differently?
I feel like, yeah, because I was just talking about this in my therapy session, but it's like there's some, I guess, like giving an example here in the context of a college, like some professors might like agree like mental health is the same as kind of like a physical impairment, and it's not something you can see. Like some people, like they see me and they see I'm smiling and they see me happy, they're like, oh, you're like this perfect happy girl, and like, oh, you're like this sunshine, and that's not how I feel a lot of the time. And people just they and then when you say that you're sad, they don't believe it or think it's just that's nothing. Or if you say you're sad, they're like, oh, well, you can just get over it. Some people are like that, and I feel like some professors may not understand that you're not hurting like physically, but you're hurting mentally and like emotionally, and you just can't make it to class. You can't sit down and like talk, or like you can't, presentations are hard. It's like you need extra support, and it may not be given to you because it's just like, oh, well, it's just in your head, you can get over it. Because some people may not have it as severe as you do, but that's not the truth. Like, you can't just get over it. It's something you live with.
Are you involved in any organizations that continue to expand your knowledge on mental health? I
am the president of Psychi, and I'm also involved in Psychology Club, as well as Spectrum is now up and running for this semester, which is exciting, so I'm in that too. And since now Active Minds is not really a club on campus anymore, so we're trying to involve that in like Spectrum and Psychology Club, where we're talking about mental health and raising that awareness and educating people that it's just not sadness, it's just not regular anxiety, like it can be overbearing. And it's taught me a lot, and I've learned so much that it's not that it's something wrong with me as a person, like I'm a horrible person. It's just something wrong in my head, and I can combat it. There's ways to combat it, and that I'm not alone.
Okay. Do you think like schools and like workplaces should have like mental health days that people can like take off?
I feel like yes, they should, because sometimes work just for any person is a lot and overbearing, and sometimes people's expectations are just exceedingly just too much, and people need to understand that we're all human and we all have feelings, and people need a break sometimes, and that they need to learn that other people's feelings are valid and that they deserve a break. Because I feel like, especially in the workplace, if you have a day where they can just take off and relax, or just like as a community just work together, like you're building strong networking, and the community is getting stronger because you're letting people be open about how they feel, and they'll feel more comfortable at work, and like they can feel like their feelings are heard, and that they can get through the day. So I feel like that would be very good.
Can you just describe the environment you grew up in?
I grew up in the Bronx, New York. I live in a one-room apartment with 7 people and 2 dogs, and it's a lot. I've worked very hard. My family is a Hispanic family, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Ecuadorian. They have a lot of expectations, and mental health is something that's not really addressed in my house. It's kind of like, it's in your head, just it's gonna go away, it's fine. Or like, we're also religious, so it's like, just you can pray it away, or like just turn to God and he'll take it away, which is hard because it's like you have all these expectations and you're living in this neighborhood that's not so great, and you feel alone and different. So it was tough. Like it's still tough going through that.
Do you think where you grew up had an effect on your mental health?
I would say yes, because one, I live with my stepfather and my mom. My dad's been a missing figure in my life, and so that's really like impacted my mental health and like how I view myself as like self-worth. My environment, like I feel like sometimes I feel different from everybody else because, financial security, like not being able to afford a lot of things, and like working 3 jobs or doing things like that so I can pay for my sister's school supplies, and I'm stressing about how to pay for the light bill and the apartment. It's a lot, and I would say that definitely my environment impacts my mental health daily, because I just worry for my sisters and their safety and how to help my family.
No, you said earlier, like mental health is not really talked about in like Hispanic families. Why do you think that is such?
I don't know. It's just something that's so like reoccurring. Like my age and my family, like my cousins who are like around my age, like we're much more open about talking about mental health and like addressing like issues in our family. Because like when, like, let's say someone acts up in the family, and then everyone's like, and they're like, oh, it's because I'm depressed, or I feel really bad about myself. They're like, oh, well, like, you're just being dramatic or something like that. But we as cousins, we're like, no, we're here for you and providing that support. So I guess maybe it could be like what they've learned in the past generation-wise, and that in this time and age we're more open to talking about mental health, and it's not something to be seen as weak. It's something that that makes you strong because you're going through that every day.
How and when did you realize that you might actually have like anxiety and not just like it was a normal emotional thing?
I realized that in elementary school. I was in the 3rd grade. I was hardly talking to people. I was very I was what is now like socially. I had social anxiety. I was also expressing kind of, I guess, not suicidal ideation, but I guess, yeah, because I like painted a picture, and it was like a caterpillar. It was something with my father, and I just felt really worthless and sad, and I didn't know who to talk to. And I guess during that time, I didn't realize what it was. I thought I was just being sad or like just a regular child. But like looking back now, I see like I was really struggling. I wasn't communicating with people. I wasn't engaging. I felt different, and it just those feelings of aloneness and not feeling like I was worth it was just increasing as I got older.
When were you diagnosed with social anxiety?
Um,
And what was that process like? I'm sorry.
I was diagnosed, I guess you could say, here in college because I was supposed to, like, when that situation occurred when I was in elementary school and they brought it up to the counselor, I was supposed to see, like, the counselor regularly to talk about my issues because I also, like, plucked half my eyebrow. I was, like, it was not a great time for me. But I wasn't, like, when I would ask to go, I wasn't actually able to go. Like, they wouldn't let me go. So I just kind of continued living with that until college. And one point, I just kind of had a breakdown. And I was crying. And I was kind of kicked out of my home. And I just didn't know what to do. And I went to counseling services. And we talked and stuff. And we realized that I had depression, I had social anxiety, and generalized anxiety.
Is there a specific story you could think of in which mental health is like taking a toll on you?
I would say
That's crazy. Would you recommend therapy for someone who is going through like mental health issues?
I would definitely recommend therapy because it's really been a great support for me. Maybe like, I guess maybe therapy might not work for everyone because everyone has their own coping mechanisms and things, but I would definitely recommend it because a lot of people say like therapy's like for crazy people and stuff. It's not for crazy people, it's for everyone. You don't have to have a severe mental disorder or anything like that. You can go just if you're stressed about a day and like you feel like crying, like your feelings, you need a, like, I guess therapy helps you feel that validation in your feelings. And I feel like with recommending therapy would be very important.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know I felt that thing too. But we talked about this stuff before too, so
Yeah.
that's cool. Thank you so much.
No problem, dude. I don't know.
You gonna break it, Sam?
I don't know.